to this very beautiful Tuesday morning's edition of TVC Breakfast, and it's Happy Children's Day. My name is Etoma Edu.
Indeed, Happy Children's Day. Good morning, Nigeria and the rest of the world. Thank you for joining us. I am Veronica Dan Ikboy.
Yeah.
Morning, Sam.
Good morning. It's good to be here.
Absolutely, good to be here. I'm Ibrahim Shita, and I'm happy to be here as well. Good to see you. Good to see you, Uncle Sam. It's nice to have you.
Join us this morning. Interesting that it is Children's Day today. There's a lot to celebrate for our children. We must always remember that they are the future of Nigeria, but then are we building the needed future for them is the question that the majority of persons have been asking. But let's look at what we have planned out for you today. Of course, we'll be looking at a day with the president where Sam Omasheyi will be speaking with us on that. And then we'll be looking at the crisis rocking the PDP. And then we'll also look at stories making the rounds on the front pages of the papers this morning, as well as stories trending now later on the show. But let's begin with the story where the president, Bola Tinubu, yesterday intervened in the revocation exercise carried out by the Federal Capital Development Authority, FCTA, on some facilities whose owners defaulted ground rents in Abuja. In a statement from the FCTA, the president's intervention implies holders of the affected properties now have 14 days to settle the outstanding ground rent with associated penalties. It adds that for owners of properties in the central area, a sum of 5 million naira will be paid by the defaulters as penalty in addition to the ground rent owed. Those in Maitama, Asokoro, Wuse 2 and Gozape districts will pay the sum of 3 million naira as penalty in addition to the ground rent owed. Defaulters in Wuse 1, Garki 1 and Garki 2 will pay 2 million naira as penalty in addition to the ground rent owed. The Minister of the FCT, Nyesom Wike, has granted 14 days grace period to all property holders in the FCT to pay up their right of occupancy bills or risk revocation of those titles. Earlier in a report, the Federal Capital Territory Administration had carried out an exercise sealing off revoked land titles due to non-payment of ground rents. Senior reporter Habida Lawal has details.
The FCTA has taken a firm stance in its action against what it terms persistent defaulters in the payment of ground rent. The administration says the action was taken to ensure compliance with land use regulations and to maintain the integrity of the extant laws. During the sealing-off exercise today, the FCTA disclosed that landowners have been issued revocation notices as a result of failure to adhere to their financial obligations.
We are going to follow up and repossess the revoked title by the FCT administration. So today is just to comply with what we have said, that we are going to take over all the revoked properties. And we are starting with plot 534, cadastral zone A02, that is Wuse 1, which is being owned by Total PLC. So this is just walking the talk, making it reality.
For this particular property, they are owing the FCTA 34 years ground rent. 34. So the property was revoked on account of this, and today we are here to take possession of it, and we have already done so.
This action, according to officials, is to recoup significant amount owed to the government and to prevent further encroachment on public land. Buildings sealed off were FIRS, Ibro Hotel, PDP National Secretariat, and outlets of Total Filling Station, a branch of Access Bank, among others. The properties are thus reverted to the FCTA, who has now taken possession thereof. It is not clear if property owners will be able to redeem their properties even after clearing their ground rent. Habida Lawal, TVC News, Abuja.
And as a follow-up to this, the PDP, who also was part of this issue, have said this is a brazen abuse of power. The FIRS is saying that they are not owing any ground rent, and so are demanding an apology from the FCTA with regards to this move. Well, Etoma, this is quite an interesting development. Yeah. How 35 years ground rent. Some persons 25 years or 20 years, or some 28 not paid. That's interesting.
Yes, I see the fault from the owners of the properties, but I also see the fault from the FCTA. You know, how have you enforced payment of ground rents? Has it been hard enough to make the people see the importance of it? Or you have been a little bit lackadaisical about it, and now that it is accumulated, it becomes a major problem? I just feel that we should enforce our laws a little bit better than we are doing right now. If it was as enforced as it should be, I don't think people would owe that much.
And let me come to Uncle Sam on this one. The PDP is saying this is a brazen abuse of power, and stemming from what Etoma has said, is it a matter of enforcement or just people not doing the right thing? You shouldn't be forced to pay your rent.
I think that reporters need to dig into this thing to find out what really happened to the previous FCT administrations. Because I suspect that there was our Nigerian familiar paddy syndrome at play, where there are instances of bribes to put off payment of the actual rent. Reporters need to go back and find out whether there were memos about this thing, whether there were memos, there were letters sent to the owners, or whether it was just a case of plain negligence. We need to know. It is also part of it is also a microcosm of the larger Nigerian attitude towards debt. Landlords are happy with their tenants in the first year. After, they say, landlord, I can't pay.
There's one enemy.
There's one problem. The wicked people in my village, they've stopped me from getting money. The contract I used to get, they've taken it from me. So the landlord will keep knocking, and then after there is a problem. The next day, you see the person has sponsored an Owambe party in the next street. And the brother said, this man, you are doing Owambe party, I cannot make me do my own Owambe party. So it is part of the Nigerian tendency to impunity.
Right.
And also, it's also the fact that you believe that one way or the other, things will go, that we can exploit the Nigerian communal conscience, or let me say communalistic conscience, that, okay, I am your neighbor, I will be nice to you. This person sang, what's his name? Obey. But love your neighbor. But this one is not love your neighbor. It's exploit the love of my neighbor.
And this is why it's the government, as a whole.
Yeah, so that's why it has now. That's why I say it is a microcosm of the larger society's attitude towards debt.
If you look at the Land Use Act of 1978, Section 1, Section 5, and that of 10, it actually speaks to the fact that if you owe or if you own the certificate of occupancy, you are legally bound to pay the ground rent. But one thing is that, yes, we have been able to determine that some properties, about 4,000 of them in the FCT, have defaulted.
Right.
So others are now saying, just like the PDP that you said, and some people are saying, okay, fine, we know that we are owing. What should we now do? Are we supposed to, squeeze this money out of us, especially with the prevailing economic circumstances? And I guess it's against that backdrop.
Because 14 days is just a short time. Yes, even though the president stepped in, but 14 days to pay for those years, it's quite a short time.
Matters like this, you can always go there and make a payment arrangement.
Yes, yes, exactly.
Well, this is what we are owing. PDP, for instance, is owing about 10 years, Abi. PDP will say, okay, we are owing probably 50 million or 200 million. Okay, let us pay. Now that we have governors, one governor will pay for 1 month, the other governor will pay for another month.
But they want to take the matter to court.
FCT.
They want to take this matter to court.
Yeah, there will be a lot of legal fireworks, you know, forth and back.
You know, the point again is that when they want to take the matter to court, they want to buy time.
Right.
They want to exploit the tardiness of our judicial system. You know, there's one novel by Charles Dickens called Bleak House.
All right. I know there's so much to say, but our time is ticking. All right, we'll need to quickly take a breather. When we return, it will be time for the newspaper review. Stay with us.